But really what I wanted to do is give you a couple key fundamentals that I know our members consistently get stuck on. And when they get stuck on these things, like who's our target market, what's our unique selling proposition, how do we build a list, what marketing campaign should we start with, when they get stuck on those things, they can't seem to get beyond it. So those are the core things that I am going to focus on in today's session. So I will not be able to answer the one thing question, what's the one thing we should do to succeed? There's a lot of things that you need to do. Success is not a one thing anything. It's usually a multitude of things working simultaneously to get the result. You know, and I think about this, you know, we look at the better your best, and every year I watch the contestants, and the results are really amazing, you know, the transformation. And what you're really hearing more is a transformation, is a personal transformation. You know, because by the end of this session, you guys are going to have all the campaigns. Everyone in here has the toolkit, right? I mean, pretty much, I think, unless you're a guest of maybe a sponsor, there might be one or two. But if you got the toolkit, you've got everything that the people on stage said that they have. So what's the missing ingredient? You know, why is it somebody gets the toolkit and does absolutely nothing with it, or they say factually it's not correct, but they say it didn't work for me. That's factually incorrect because they didn't implement it. You know, you can't take toothpaste, rub it in your eye, and complain about cavities and bad breath. Right? You got to use the product as it's prescribed. So it's technically not correct that it didn't work for them. They just didn't implement it. Okay? And it's not to pat myself on the back and say how great and wonderful this is, but the principles in it have been around forever. I didn't invent direct response marketing. Direct response marketing has been around forever. That's what the fundamentals are. The fundamentals are based on 8,000 clients and working with them very much in the trenches. You know, I'm not an ivory tower consultant where I march off stage and I don't ever interact with my clients. You'll see me in the hallway talking to people. I'm on the phone with clients every single week. I'm in there. We go to dinner with them. I mean, I'm very, very in touch with the clients, and I'm working with them on a regular basis. And I can tell you that, you know, it's not the city you live in, whether you're in a small town. You know, we got clients in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to LA, in Chicago. And the fundamentals are the fundamentals that work in all those different markets, whether you're a startup, whether you're a $40 million a year company. We got, you know, a member that's a $40 million a year company. You know, they work. And it's not because I'm a genius. I'm basically a researcher. I'm a translator. It's not, I didn't invent all this. I've researched direct response marketing, sales, persuasion, influence for years. I mean, it's all there. It's documented. I didn't invent any of it. I just translated it for this industry. And after 8,000 clients, I have an idea of what works. So the campaigns, I'm very confident, will work. So there is a missing ingredient to getting them to work. Okay? Does anyone know what it is? Well, action, but what drives your action? Your motivation. What drives your motivation? Desire. So I don't have a diagram of this, so you're just going to have to draw this for yourself, okay? But draw a triangle. Get a piece of paper. Draw a triangle, okay? Just a little triangle. So you're going to have to create this. I'm going to have to describe it. At the very top, I want you to put the word beliefs. Beliefs. Beliefs are just nothing but a sense of certainty about things around you, about the world, the way it works, about your customers, about yourself. You know, I'm pretty certain I'm horrible at putting caps on jars. I know that, isn't that weird? I don't know what it is about me, but I can't ask my husband. He gets infuriated with me. I put stuff back in, the jars are all, I don't know what it is. It's like the one thing. So I'm like out of firm belief, I'm not good at putting jars on, or lids on jars. And so if you go in our refrigerator, everything's like, you know, it's crazy, unless my husband's gotten to it. So I don't even try anymore. So beliefs, I know that's a simple, really silly kind of belief, but you know what else I have a belief about? I have a belief that there's always a way. If I want to achieve something, if I want to manifest something in my life, if I want to realize something, there's always a way. There's always a way. I really, really believe that. I just got to figure it out. I got to find the right person. I got to try different ways. I got to be sticking with it long enough, but there is always a way to get that goal that I want. I really have that belief system. So your beliefs are at the top. And then over on the right corner of your triangle down here, I want you to write the word actions. Because what you believe about yourself, what you believe about your business, what you believe about your customers is going to drive your actions. If, let's say, for example, you really don't believe that clients would ever respond to a sneaky duck campaign. If you really firmly believe that, how much action are you going to take on that campaign? None. I get people come into a rapid implementation workshop, they just paid $10,000 to be in, and they're standing there, and I'm standing over, I'm looking at them, saying, why didn't you send the campaign out? You know what they say? Well, they never tell me the truth. Well, I got kind of busy, and blah, blah, blah. I said, what is the real reason? They don't believe it would work. They don't believe that their clients will respond to it. So I stand over and make them do it. Well, they just paid me 10 grand. They got to get something out of this, right? One guy said, you know what, I could have stayed home, Robin, and had my wife stand over him and tell me what to do and not paid $10,000, right? So, but I made him, and guess what, it works. And he sits there and I go, and it just happened at the last wrap. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Look at all these emails, these responses. I never thought that I can't believe it. He said, but here's the evidence. So your beliefs drive your actions, and your actions deliver your results. And that's the other thing I want you to write in the other corner are your results. So whatever action you take produces the results. Anyone ever try and go on a diet and not have it work out so great, right? Because your belief is, especially when you get to a certain age, your belief is, well, I'm getting older, my metabolism's slowing down. I've tried 20, 30, 50, 100 diets, and I never stick to them, and now it's become a belief system. Well, I'm just never going to be thin. Right? That just becomes a part of your belief. So how much action do you take on trying to do a diet again? Another diet? Are you kidding? Oh, no. You might try it a little bit, but in the back of your mind, there's that little gremlin going, you ain't going to follow it. You know you like ice cream too much. You like nachos, whatever it is, right? You love that stuff. You know you're not going to do it, so you take very little action, and what results do you get? Great results? No, same. So what does that do to your belief system? Reinforces it. And it's just this cycle we go through. And we all succumb to it, myself included. And I'm always challenging, is this really true? Do I really, because you got to live in a certain world and have a certain level of certainty about things. But the thing you always want to do is constantly challenge yourself and say, what beliefs do I have about my customers, about price, about what they'll pay, about hiring people, about managing people? What are my beliefs? And how are they supporting me or are they not?